If you sell your house as is the wrong way, you could be leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table. I'm talking about mistakes most homeowners don't even know they're making until it's too late. Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to walk you through exactly how as-is home sales actually work in Orange County. Not the version you hear from random postcards in your mailbox, the real version. Hey, I'm Jason Villani. I'm a real estate broker here in Orange County with L3 Real Estate. But before I got my license, I spent about 15 years remodeling homes, kitchens, bathrooms, additions, full gut jobs. I've done it all. So when I look at a property, I'm not just thinking like an agent. I'm thinking like the contractor who'd fix it, and like the investor who had to pencil out the numbers. The combination is exactly why I make videos like this one. My whole approach is to educate first. I'm not here to convince you to do one specific thing with your house. I'm here to make sure you understand all your options on the table, so whatever you decide, you're deciding with your own eyes. So let's say your house needs work. Maybe it's an older home, you inherited it. Maybe it's a rental you're trying to manage. Maybe you just don't have the energy or the cash to remodel before you sell. This video is for you. And here's the thing about selling as is. Most homeowners think they only have one option: call an investor, get a low cash offer, and take it because it seems easy. And that's not true. And believing that myth is exactly what costs people money. There are actually several different paths for selling a home as is, and each one serves a different situation. The problem is nobody is sitting down with you and explaining the trade-offs, so here I am today telling you. Let's bust some myths, starting with the biggest one. My number one myth, as is means I have to sell to a cash investor. That's simply not true. As is a legal term. It means you're not agreeing to make any repairs or credits based on what an inspection finds. That's it. It doesn't mean you're limited to one type of buyer. You can list the home as is on the open market, the MLS, and regular buyers, including people who just want a fixer-upper as their next home. They can absolutely buy it. As is describes the condition of the sale. It doesn't dictate who's allowed to buy it. Myth number 2, if my house needs work, I will never get a good price. Also not true. What actually happens is buyers and investors discount price based on perceived risk and repair cost. Also not true. What actually happens is buyers and investors discount price based on perceived risk and repair costs. If you can remove some of that uncertainty, clear disclosures, a pre-inspection, clean paperwork, you reduce the discount buyers feel like they need. Uncertainty is what costs you the most money, not conditions of the house. So myth number 3, getting multiple offers only work for updated homes. I've seen plenty of as-is properties get multiple offers in Orange County, especially when they're priced correctly and marketed to the right audience. The strategy is different than a turnkey home, but it absolutely is still possible. And I'll show you exactly how later in this video. Now let's talk about common mistakes that actually cost sellers real money. Mistake number 1, take the very first offer you get without any comparison. I get it, it feels efficient, but even if that first offer is a legitimate investor, you have no way of knowing if it's fair unless you compare it to at least 1 or 2 other options. Mistake number 2, assuming a full remodel is your only way to increase value. Sometimes a $3,000 cosmetic fix, decluttering, a deep clean, fresh paint in 1 or 2 rooms can shift buyers' perception more than a $30,000 renovation would. Not always, but it's worth evaluating before you assume the only path is a total remodel. Mistake number 3, not understanding how a buyer calculates their offer. If someone hands you a number and you don't know how they got there, you can't tell if it's a fair number or a lowball number. A good buyer, investor, or otherwise should be able to walk you through their math. Let me tell you about a homeowner I worked with. I'll call her Diane out of respect for her privacy. Diane inherited her parents' home in Costa Mesa. Original kitchen from the 70s, foundation issues in one corner. She had already gotten a cash offer from an investor before they called me, a little over $950,000. We looked through the numbers together. I walked her through what a full remodel would cost and what the home could realistically sell for as is on the open market with the right price. We didn't do a full remodel, that wouldn't have made sense for a timeline, but we did list it on the MLS, we disclosed the foundation issues up front with a contractor's estimate attached and marketed directly to investors and add value buyers who are actively looking in the market. In the final sale price, $1.35 million. That's over a $300,000 difference. I'm not telling you this story to say all cash offers are bad. I'm telling you that the story because Diane didn't know she had options until she asked. So let's get into those options. There are really 4 common paths for selling an as-is home, and I want to walk you through the pros and cons of each one honestly, because none of them are universally the best, they're just situational. Option 1 is selling directly to a cash investor or a private buyer network. Here's how that works. You connect with an investor or a network of investors, they evaluate the project, and they make you a cash offer. No financing contingencies, often a fast close and typically no repairs required. The pro here is speed and certainty. If you need to close in 2 weeks, or if you don't want strangers walking through your house, this can be a great fit. The con is that cash offers are almost always below the retail market value. That's not a scam, that's the trade-off for speed and certainty. The investor is taking off the risk and the cost of repairs, and they need room in the number to make the deal work for them. One thing I want to explain honestly, because it comes up a lot. There's a difference between an investor who is going to actually buy and renovate your home and a wholesaler. A wholesaler gets your home under contract at one price, then turns around and sells that contract to a different investor for a higher price, pocketing the difference, without actually owning the property or doing any of the work themselves. That's not illegal, and that's not automatically unethical, but it does mean the first number you're offered may not be the final number the property is actually worth to the market. That's exactly why comparing offers matters. Option number 2 is listing as is on the open market through the MLS. This exposes your home to every single buyer, every agent in the marketplace, not just private network of investors. That includes regular families looking for a fixer-upper, contractors, small investors, and yes, large investors too. The pro is competition. More eyes on the property generally means a better price. Con is timeline and process. You'll likely be dealing with showings and some negotiations back and forth, and potentially buyers who ask for repairs or credits even if it is an as-is sale, though a well-written contract can limit that. Option number 3, a quiet off-market sale. This is the middle ground. Instead of a public MLS listing, the property is marketed directly to a curated list of buyers. Investors, agents, and buyers actively looking, and sometimes even neighbors are people already interested in the area. The pro is privacy. If you don't want a yard sign or an open house, or your neighbors knowing you're selling, this keeps things discreet. Also create a sense of exclusivity that sometimes drives a stronger offer. The con is a smaller buyer pool than the full MLS listing, which can mean slightly less competitive pricing pressure depending on how the marketing is executed. Option number 4 is a short, high-end intense marketing push designed to create urgency. This is where you combine an as-is MLS listing with an aggressive, tightly compressed timeline, professional photos, a clear offer deadline, marketing push hard to both retail and investors at the same time. The pro is that it creates a multiple offer scenario, even for the homes that need real work. When buyers know they're dealing with deadlines and know that they're competing, it tends to sharpen their number. The con is that this approach takes coordination and a bit more upfront strategy. It's not the right fit if you need certainty of close above everything else. So here's the honest truth. There is no single best way to sell an as-is home. There's the best way for your specific situation. If you need speed and certainty above all else, direct to an investor might make the most sense for you. If you want to maximize exposure and competition, MLS as is worth a strong consideration. If privacy matters most, quiet marketing is a strong middle ground. And if you want to create a bidding scenario, even on homes that need work, the urgency campaign can be powerful. The mistake isn't picking one of these, the mistake is picking one without knowing the other 3 exist. So here's what I'd actually tell you to do, starting today. Whether you ever call me or not, first get at least 2 or 3 opinions on the value, not just one investor number. Compare a cash offer against what a broker believes the home could get for on the open market as is. Second, ask every buyer to explain their math. A good buyer, cash or retail, should be able to show you the comparable sales and their reasoning behind it. If they can't, that's a signal. Third, get a written appraisal for every major issue, foundation, roof, plumbing. Even if you're not planning to fix it, it gives you the leverage and removes uncertainty, which is, as we spoke earlier about, is exactly what costs sellers money. If you've got a home in Orange County that needs work, whether it's inherited, a rental, or just a place you don't want to remodel, I'd be glad to walk through specific numbers with you. No pressure, no obligations. I'll just show you what a cash offer would realistically look like and what the home could get as is on the open market side by side. So you can reach out through the link in the description or just comment below with your situation. I'll do my best to answer directly. Also, I'll link my phone number below. If this video helped you, consider subscribing. I put out a lot of content like this regularly for Orange County homeowners who just want to understand their options before making a big decision.